Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to One Piece episode 1054. Directed by Yuji Tokuno and Yasunori Koyama from Yutaka Nakashima's board and supervised by Keita Saito and Toshio Deguchi. After a couple weeks break from the anime, we're back with the next episode from newcomer to the series Yuji Tokuno, and surprisingly our co-series director Yasunori Koyama, who both won't be executing their own board this time, but all the same still looks like a really good time with super good looking direction and lighting mixed with a few neat little bits of action animation as well. While we don't know just how much of it on its own will be pure action, and especially we don't know how much Tokuno will do and how much Koyama will do, I'm still ready to get right into it and see what it has to offer, so let's waste no time. This episode covers the vast majority of chapter 1029 other than the Sanji and Queen content, as that's rearranged to next week, which helps this episode focus more on just Kid and Killer, but don't get it twisted, because the manga content itself is mostly consolidated in the B part of the episode, while the A part is almost wholly original, and gives us a lot of insight as to what happened before what takes place in the manga, in turn letting us in on the beating that Kid and Law both received beforehand that leaves them in that state, and giving us a great look at Killer's resolve that leads to his extremely impressive showing later. Sure, it's got a few seconds worth of flashbacks to Killer eating a smile and such, but I feel like that only helps strengthen the relationship that he has with Kid and his crew. And it overall still manages to make up time in such a creative way by extending it and making what was an already strong chapter of the manga even stronger, helping it feel much more like an episode about the two bros when it reaches its climactic moments, which is appreciated for a duo that is often overlooked this arc. And when the manga content itself is done extreme justice and feels every bit as kinetic and raw as it did on the first read, from everything from the script to Tokuno and Koyama's execution of it really nailed this story beat, and surprisingly so on the storyboard side of things as well. While I've certainly seen stronger action boards in the series, no doubt, I have to genuinely give props to Nakashima here because his ideas and general compositions were at their A game. Not coming off as bland or by the numbers whatsoever, and always managing to keep the episode looking interesting one way or another. Now sure, it's highly likely that Tokuno changed a lot of the board, and maybe even Koyama as well, because the A part has that rhythm that you'd expect from Tokuno's action, and the B part has the finesse and colorfully unique traits of a Koyama climax. But I'm sure a lot of it was from Nakashima's own groundwork, no doubt, and considering how he said this was his personal favorite episode in Wano, I will absolutely praise him where necessary. All in all, providing a really solid board for action animators like Chris Yen BM, even if it's just for a really short but awesomely smooth all the same Big Mom scene, or the likes of Shin Kashiwaguma and Ziguan Liu, who once again get corrected very hard by Soti as assistant AD this time, but definitely still give it their all for Killer's relentless attacks that are packed to the brim with beautiful secondary animation, which is partially thanks to Soti, no doubt. With a Sheeta cut to top it all off right before the climactic ending, it's no doubt why 1054 is a surprisingly awesome episode. I was definitely expecting a fairly good one, and with such a strong staff list on every front, I'd say they all managed to deliver in the best way possible. Not feeling inconsistent despite there being two directors on the episode, and giving just the right amount of gas for an underrated fight like this that I'm sure everyone agrees was done justice here. And next week that excitement will turn to intrigue with episode 1055 coming from newcomer to the One Piece anime Hazuki Omoya. Omoya beforehand has worked on Kitaro and Dai, even directing an episode of their own on the latter, but this is their first full episode on One Piece, even if they're not handling the entirety of the board, because part of it is Takeshita, and while it doesn't look necessarily stand out from the preview, I'm very much so interested at what she has to offer for her debut on the series, especially so for content that isn't particularly exciting to me. Anyways guys, that's it for now. I'm Skippy, and man, what an episode.